attention and not some attention of the drugs or the needle. We need Jesus' attention and not the attention of your peers or your classmates or your family. We need Jesus' attention. We're still desperate for attention, but now we need the fulfilling attention of Jesus Christ. I pray you are still desperate. And check this out. He ignored anything to the contrary. Like I preached 2 weeks ago, the culture says be quiet, and we are here to say no. The culture says shut up, and we are here to say no. The culture says relax, and we are here to say no. And you know what? Can I tell you this? And I'm getting ahead of myself. But Christians will tell you to relax. And we're here to say no. And I'm telling you, they'll say take it easy. Church shouldn't consume your life. And I say you're absolutely, fundamentally, 100% wrong. It should consume your life. We should shout out, Jesus, we still need you. We need you this week as much as we needed you last week. We need you with 230 kids as much as we need you with 130 kids. You know, there's a campaign in Seattle. It's so cool. It's called the Jesus Is campaign. And they printed up bumper stickers, and they have billboards, they have websites, and it says Jesus Is, and it's got an underline. You get to fill it in. And I was in Seattle. I got to see this campaign. It was everywhere. It was on the blackboard of the church. It had banners all over the place. You couldn't drive 1 mile in any direction in all of Seattle without seeing the word Jesus Is. I saw it everywhere. And I was like, finally, someone is still shouting out, Jesus.
Wow.
That's what Occupy is. Jesus, Son of David, we still need you here. We're the young people that still shout. We're the young people that will shout all the more. When people tell you to shut up, you say no. The problem is that youth do not occupy culture because they are too occupied with culture. I said it before and I'll say it again. You might need to tweet that and favorite it yourself. Youth are too occupied with culture to occupy culture. We're too concerned with who's doing what, where, when, with who. We're not concerned enough with Jesus. How can you use me? Jesus, what's going on? Jesus, I need your presence. Jesus, Wednesday night's coming up and I haven't found someone to bring yet. Jesus, I want to give a word of knowledge to that person. Or Jesus, I want to pray with this person. We're too concerned. Will this person think I'm weird? They're the one that needs prayer. Can I ask you this? Whose attention have you ever gotten in your entire life, in all of your history, your short history, your short span of life, and all that you've learned, whose attention have you ever gotten by being quiet? Nobody's. Why do we think it will be different with God? Why do we think we could be really, really quiet as a youth group and get the attention of the Almighty God? Why do you think we could stand here, or sit here on a Wednesday night, and see God move over an entire state? I think if we ask great things, He'll do it, but He'll expect great things from us. The disciples said to Jesus, they said, Jesus, may we share in the wine of suffering with you? And He says, you will. They said, may we go where you go? And He says, you will. May we do what you do? And He says to them, you will. But be prepared, for it's going to be rough. And these are the same disciples that were murdered, killed, tortured, persecuted because they wanted to affect something big. They wanted to do something incredible. I think if we're quiet, we won't get all that much done. But if we're loud, not just in here, but out there, I think we'll get the attention of God. You know, there's two things going on in blind Bartimaeus' life. There was Jesus, and there was everything else. That's the only two things going on in his life. Jesus is coming, and there's everything else. There's his sickness, there's his disease, there's his hunger, there's his thoughts, there's his friends, there's his family, there's his history, there's his past, there's his future, there's all that. But then there's Jesus coming down the road. And can I tell you, it's the same today. That right now, there's only two things going on in the entire earth. There's what Jesus is doing, and then there is everything else. There's what TMZ and MTV and celebrities and movies and music and all that stuff is all over here. And then there is what Jesus is doing. But the problem is with a lot of young people, with a lot of you, and a lot of times with me, and I find in my life that it gets switched, where there's everything else in my life and then there's Jesus. Can I tell you this? When church no longer is a hobby and it is your life, only then will we begin to occupy.